it crosses all of the boundaries of the yoga practice. Comfortable seat, asana, the word actually is a translation of seat. So it's said that actually all of the yoga poses are preparing you for a meditative seated position. And this will just become clearer and easier over time, along with the mobilization of the hips and the low back. So the biggest resistance to sitting really comfortably is the hips and the low back are working in such a way where there's automatic flexion. So when the knees lift up, if you're in a seated cross-legged position, if your knees can easily press down onto opposite ankles, then this gives you support that you can translate into the back and get extra lift. So in the meantime, whenever your knees are lifted and you're in a seated position, the simplest remedy is to create one of two things. If you're doing a formal meditation practice, and you can do it during the practice that we're doing as well, grab a chair and sit on a chair, because that's the first thing that's going to sort out the low back, and you perch off the edge of it. And then you can start to use a cushion or two. And the cushion is so that you can start to bring this level height of the hips and the knee. This is an arbitrary but generally quite sound measure of being able to sit comfortably. So if you can find just enough of a prop to bring your hips and to the knees to the same height, when the knee is higher, then there's an associated movement of hyperkyphosis in the low back. So the associated movements back, and knee up. So if you can get the knee down comfortably without straining the legs, then that's the way to do it. It's a really big part. Like I said, asana means seat. So pretty much everything is based on the seat. The idea that when we're in Trikon asana, you're in a triangle seat, okay? So you're like kind of active in the legs, and you've still got that feeling that you're sat in an upright meditative position in everything we do. So there's lots of benefits that you'll get from the practice all along the way, particularly releasing hips and low spine. Those are the physical aspects. There's a lot of energetics with that as well, because we talk about a straight upright spine, which actually is anatomically impossible for a human. So what we do have is this idea of prana, and prana they refer to as the life force energy. We can also refer to this as awareness, because as you're stacking an uneven surface, it requires a lot of your awareness. And this, you can do that when your body's tight in the hips and in the low back. It's just much, much harder, because your brain has to work so much harder when you've got stiffness in the body. So the seat that they were preparing us for was the seat of meditation. And meditation isn't religious, it's not cultural, it's just that focus being delivered into an area. And much like gardening, when your awareness is pointed, it's like you're watering the plants. The plants are still going to grow, they just won't grow so well without your attention watering them. So it was one question which I hope covered a lot of ground, and it sort of fed into, thank you, it sort of fed into a lot of what I wanted to talk to you about today, is the idea of moving meditation. The idea of moving meditation is elusive. So for those of you who don't feel that you're even interested in meditation, know that you're getting great physical benefits. Your yoga practice really is like a massage. So the biggest benefits of massage is that you move stuff that doesn't otherwise move in the body, lymphatic fluid. Let's do a little lymphatic wash right now, guys. So if you just take your index and middle fingers onto the collarbones where they meet on the sternum. While we're here as well, it would just be useful for you to create a couple of rolls of the elbows, drawing circles. Notice when you feel the collarbones that they're moving here, they're articulating. Now bring the fingertips to touch and you come onto the sternum, the breastplate. And when you move the elbows, you don't quite feel that movement. So this joint here is the sternoclavicular joint. It's a really important one, because all of your upper spinal thoracic mobility and protection comes from this tiny connection. This is where your shoulders meet your spine, because it goes onto the sternum, through the ribs, onto the spine. Okay, so there's a really important junction. And what happens here is if we just bring the fingers, I'll bring you a little close up. If you start to just bring the fingers onto the back of the knobble of that connection, and you starting to press down onto the top of the rib cage, a light touch with two fingers. Okay, and then start to hook. So this is my collarbone from the side, and I'm starting to do this with the fingers and just gently digging in a little bit over the top. So I'd like you to gently press and Then bring the fingers a little bit wider. We'll do 4 points. Just take a little press here. I want you again, imagine this is your collarbone here. In a sec. Just dig in the fingers in, and then we're going to go along like this. Okay, and in these, let's do 3 rounds of this. We start close again. Little press, hold it for a second, and just let your fingers sink in there with gravity, and then move it along. And again, just feel into that moment where the tissues yield, they'll soften. It's almost like you've put your fingers on something that melts like coconut oil. And then the coconut oil, after a second, it just turns to liquid. Do that 1 more time along the collarbones. And the question is, what does this have to do with anything? Well, this is one of the quickest ways to kind of get a refresh of the lymphatic system. Your lymph is the cleaning agent in the body, and it doesn't have a pump like the heart. It moves around because of movement. So the benefit that you get from a massage and a good yoga practice are that your stuff moves around, the circulation is better. I'd just like you to check in, how does that exercise feel? Do you notice any difference? Perhaps now you're a bit more aware of this region, which will be useful in the practice. But also there's quite just a little refreshing feeling that comes. The major lymph nodes of your body are just here under the collarbones. So I'm focusing with you today on Jalandhara bandha, which means the throat lock, okay? So if you just take your fingers, and we're going to massage the front of the throat as well. I'd just like you to hold the front of the neck and just touching lightly onto the Adam's apple, as it's known, that build up a cartilage there at the front of the throat. Give that a very gentle rub. You don't want to press onto it, okay? It's not going to feel good. You've got a really important gland under there. It's your thyroid gland. So it's the regulator from the center of the brain, the symbolic third eye. You have the pineal gland, which creates the signals, and it sends them down to here. This point is not only the point that you communicate your internal external world, but also the internal world is communicating the spinal column, and it's getting messages from the spinal column, and then the messages to release hormones are coming from here. So this is a really important energetic area. So let's start to move it at the same time as getting some physiological benefits for the spine. You just rest the hands down onto the knees and let your shoulders take a little circle forwards and backwards. Then we'll keep the shoulders still in space and start to move the spine. So if you need to move your leg position here, come cross-legged or kneeling, modify it a little bit. We'll send the throat forwards and the chin up. So this is that creating expansion with moving, opening up the airways, opening up the lymphatic fluid, vasodilating the blood vessels in the neck. And then we'll send the heart back and the chin in. Now, as you repeat this a few times, I'd like you to keep your eyes trained forwards so that we're just getting a little bit of movement of the eyes as well. And let's change the focus. So we're still throat forward, chin up, throat back, chin in. Let your spine get involved in this a little bit more. Notice if you can use the tummy as well. You're going all the way down the spine into the tummy to get a little bit of core movement, activated movement from the core. Okay, with the eyes trained forwards now, just feeling the muscles of the eyes, changing the focus. Notice how your eye muscles feel, and you might also not notice how your eye muscles feel. Okay, let's still the spine now, and I'd like you to send your eyes all the way up, look into the roof of your eyelids. Now notice the eye muscles. So when nothing else is moving, you feel, wow, I can actually even strain my eyes looking up. Let's look down all the way, keep the head still. Again, notice starting to feel into the subtleties, but these are really strong muscles, even though they're tiny, because they work all day long. So we've got a little focus on the throat, a little focus on the eyes here today, okay? So let's do another one with circles with the eyes. Okay, notice how much muscular sensation you have. If you feel strain in the eye muscles, it's just a little more than we need to get that movement of blood, lymph, and also the meditative. So try and find a smooth range of motion. And smaller circles, notice the eye muscles working less. Okay, and this one, because we spend so much time looking at 2D, guys, let's get 3D again. I'd like you to try and look at the tip of your nose. not what everyone associates with meditative look, but it's actually a really useful technique. Okay, so you're just training the focus in. So we're getting even smaller, subtler in the eyes. Notice the strain quality now. It's actually inside the eyes. Okay, so we're getting deeper in the eyes, and then we look towards the screen. And then if you can, defocus your eyes. I like to imagine you stood on a mountain range and you're just looking off into the mid-distance. So if you ever did magic eye, then you know how to do this. If you were the person that was like, I don't get that magic eye thing, then don't worry about it. Just relax your eyes. And then let's bring it in again to the nose, and then off again into the distance. You get inequality for the inner focus muscles of the eyes. Let's again bring the eye gaze into the nose. So that quality, and then forwards. Let's bring it into flow now. So keeping the head more or less still. Eye gaze all the way up. Eye gaze zooms back into the nose and then down through the earth. So you're visualizing looking through the ground and then sweeping that eye gaze forwards and off along the mountain range, up into the sky, and then back into your nose, and then down through the ground, down that valley, forwards into the distant mountain range. Eye gaze up, and then let's reverse the flow. So we'll go up first, and as you're following this eye gaze, just noticing the muscles of the eyes working. It's a subtle feeling. You won't be able to show off these muscles at the gym. And okay, and then same thing, eyes trained forwards. We do the second part of Jalandhara bandha. It seems really overly technical, but it's useful. Okay, so throat back, chin in, and then we're going to keep the head slightly down and just create a little bit of rotation here. Now as you do this, we call this kind of galleon shape because it looks like that galleon. The head is staying forwards and you're just tracing the chin along those collarbones that we moved the lymphatic fluid under earlier. Okay, and when you're turning to look to one side, lift in that same ear and really give it a lift. Imagine that the ear is trying to move up towards the sky, and then throat back, we come into center, and as you turn your head to a side, the ear that you're turning to is lifting. And let's do another two, and we'll just keep the chin in. So as you lift the ear, can you keep the chin in? It creates a little bit of rotation. And then can you move this from the core as well? Can you get the tummy to try and do a little bit of a twist in the direction you're turning the head to? And you'll start to notice the QLs a little bit, the low back of the hips, when you just try to move from the core. Okay, and then let's take it all the way up and over. So as we raise that ear, then we start to push the throat forwards and bring the chin into the center. And then as you bring the chin over to the other side, again, you're just lowering it down with that ear. Chin's tracing along the collarbones until you come back up forward with the throat, chin up. Okay, so we've done the linear version, now we're doing the multi-dimensional version. We've got that forwards and backwards movement of the spine, and then there's also this circular sagittal plane movement. And if you've done one direction, let's pick it up on the other. I did about 3 or 4 on one side. You might find that actually one direction is better for you. Now, where does this come into play? It comes into play in our yoga practice a little bit as we train the eye gaze at various points. Again, I'm going to be teaching some drishti with you today. So the drishti means the focal point. Let's come up to stand and we'll create a little bit more of this movement. Like I say, guys, if your intention is here for physical exercise, you'll be getting all of that. You're also getting the benefit of massage. If you're here for meditation, chances are you'll get more benefit out of that massage, and then obviously a little bit less in the musculoskeletal. But please don't oversimplify things to think if I just do more of what Steph's saying, then I'll get better results. Try to find balance in it. This is a really useful lesson along in the process that we can all access. So we'll take a few heel lifts here, and as you're doing these heel lifts, we'll just mimic it a little bit with the hands. So there's a little lift, bend in the elbows, and then straightening the arms as we lower the heels down, bending the elbows to lift, and then straightening the elbows as you lower. And we're going to switch up this flow a little bit as well. Okay, so lift and bend, lower and straighten, lift and bend, lower and straighten. So then we'll do lift and straighten, lower and bend. And we're actually going to bend the knees a little bit here, bend the elbows together. Lift and straighten, and then lower and bend. Lift and straighten, lower and bend. Bring the heels down, scoop the hands forwards. Imagine you're parting something in front of you. And we just sweep the hands to the sides here and come into our first median radial nerve tension in. Bring at first a micro bend to the elbows, curl of the fingers, and then slowly start to straighten the arms. Lovely. Okay, just palms forwards. Let's do the Jalandhara bandha practice here. So press the tailbone down into the heels. Keep really grounded in the heels. Like to imagine you're digging sand into those heels, but push the hips forwards, expand the tummy if you can, send the throat forwards, chin up. Now keep the throat forwards, chin up, send the bum back, bring the fingers into the shoulders. Imagine you were starting to progressively press your lower back into the back of a wall, middle back into the wall, upper back into the wall, tummy expands again. Elbows forwards and up, chin forwards and up, heels forwards and up, kneecaps forwards and up, long fingers, and heels down, wrists in. Let's come back to the starting point. Okay, let's take the hands here onto the front of the hips, but you got the elbows trying to move forwards. Gently reach the crown of the head up, look down towards the ground in front of you. Then, keeping the spine in this position, expand the tummy, wrap the shoulders back, throat forwards, chin up, eye gaze down, past your lips, past your nose towards the screen, and have a little feel into here. How does the back of the neck feel? If it feels like it's working really hard, we just find a little bit more length through the crown. A little bit more push forwards through the throat, get the chest involved, and let's see if we can move those collarbones forwards. So we'll repeat this a few more times. Elbows forwards, chin in, and then elbows backwards, chin up, throat forwards. And again, we're just repeating this movement. Don't look for a stretch here, guys. Look for smoothness and finding your awareness moving up the spine, from the hips, from the tummy, into the throat. So can you use this repeated pattern to bring the awareness progressively along the spine? We're actually mobilizing the whole spine here if we can. Okay, now with eye gaze still forwards, let's take the elbows forwards. We're just going to scoop the hands out. Again, part that material. And then keep your knees forwards, twist the tummy over to the left palm up and back, looking towards me with the right ear lifted. Okay, and then we're going to add another little detail, twisting the tummy over to the left, yeah? Press into the heels, try to expand the tummy, try to expand the chest, lift the chin a little, but lift up the right ear more. And then expand tummy, spin the tummy forwards, chin forwards, throat forwards, cross the arms, elbows forwards and up. And again, you're training the eye gaze on me for these twists. Start from turning the wrists in. And the knees still forwards, twisting the tummy to the right, eye gaze still towards me. Chin is to the left collarbone, left ear lifted. Right palm up and back. Press into the heels a little bit more, get heavy in the heels. Zip up the back, expand the tummy, expand the chest and throat. Keep lifting up through the left ear. Spin the tummy forwards. And then throat forwards, chin up. And release the arms there. So throat in the side bend. We're going to lean over onto the left foot with the wrists in. And then scooping the left palm up. Okay, let's just change over a sec. Come back into center, wrists in. Lean over to the opposite side. Just do the opposite of what you did. Okay, and Again, let's just come back, hands onto the hips, throat back, elbows forwards, gently, gently. Keep that space in the back, expand the front, tummy expands, chest expands, throat expands, chin up. Okay, and then press back into the heels, press the back into a wall behind you, turn the wrists in, lengthen through your crown, and then bring the eye gaze down to your left foot and shift the weight into your right heel. Expand the tummy, expand the chest as you raise the right arm up, expand the throat, and trace your chin along the collarbones to the right shoulder. If it's comfortable, looking up at the right hand. And when you're looking up at the right hand, press into the heels, push the throat forwards. Notice that full spinal extension you can get there. Okay, so chin back to right shoulder. Take both arms down, throat back, chin in. And then eye gaze down to your right foot as you lean onto the left heel. Just release the arms. And then expand in the tummy. Trace your collarbone towards, chin towards left collarbone, left ear lifted. And then expand in the tummy, chest and throat, maybe looking up towards the left hand. Consider that you're still grounded in the left heel, and then sending the hips forwards, the throat forwards to assist the chin lift. Okay, and then chin into left collarbone again, chin into center, throat back. Let's come back into our radial nerve tensioning. Right now, you might be looking at me past your eyebrows or looking at the ground in front. So we're going to drill a little bit the drishti of Trikonasana. So again, let's lean onto the left foot and then take the eye gaze towards me, lifting up through the left ear, pressing down in the left hip, lifting up through the left ear, and then let's twist the tummy. Keep looking towards me, twisting tummy to left, this time lifting right ear. So you're tracing the collarbone along, tracing along the right collarbone. Okay, and then like we did before, see if you can bring a place to look the eye gaze past that right shoulder towards the ground on your right side. Lifting left ear gently. Okay, and then soften everything in the neck and shoulders because we've added a few actions. Let's take a little lift of the right leg. And if you can, follow me with the eye gaze, but if it's better for you, just keep the eye gaze fixed on a point. Okay, so slowly starting to trace the eye gaze, chin to left collarbone. So the left ear is going to lift. If you can, look over to the left side, maybe looking at the left hip, maybe looking at the left shoulder, maybe looking at the left hand, left ear lifted. So we're looking to lengthen all down the left side. Okay, let's just take the right ball of the foot down, naturally look forwards, lean over a little bit onto the right foot, gently, gently, gently lower down, shift again into the left heel, looking towards the right foot and the right toe tip. And then again, let's bring the eye gaze over to the left, chin follows collarbone to the left, left ear lifts, looking towards the left hand. And if you want, add the balance lift in the right leg too. Triangle. Let's drill it one more time. So we bring the weight over onto the right ball of the foot, head neutral, looking forwards now. Okay, I know your arms probably feeling it a little bit. You can let them lower if you need to. Lower the body. Shift the weight into the left heel, eye gaze to the right foot. And then spinning the tummy over to the left, chin over to the left, and then lifting the right leg. Again, bring the right foot down, but this time on both balls of the feet. So if you're at the front of your mat here, I've kind of got my back to you as if I were at the front of my mat. Just going to do a little shimmy, spin that right heel down, okay? And I'm actually going to give you something else here, left toe tip forwards. Let's just take a little moment with the knee lifted, bringing the fingers back into the shoulders, relax a little. With my detailed instructions, sometimes we can kind of tense up and think a lot about it, particularly when we're working in this area. So just a little release here. Okay, so let's drill it on the other side and then we'll come straight into it. As we bring the shoulders in, we create space on the scapula. Okay, we shift the weight over to the right toe tip. The right heel, left toe tip. And then we're going to add the twist. Okay, so eye gaze forwards. And then let's do chin to chest. Lifting the right ear up and sweeping just the eye gaze back towards that right hand. You can take a lift of the left toe tip here as well in balance. Easier to balance by looking down. And just these balancing poses as well. So much energy moving. What we're doing is vasoconstricting a lot in these tighter regions where we're working the muscles. When we release them, get this beautiful blood flow coming back through. Okay, and let's just keep it simple. Left toe tip down. And then we're going to take a little bend in the knees, leaning over to the left foot gently. Shifting the hips over to the right again. Eye gaze to the left toe tip as you balance on the left toe tip. Okay, imagine spinning the tummy to the left and then bringing the chin along the collarbone to the right shoulder, lifting the right ear up. And then slightly different, expand the tummy, throat forward, chest up, just bringing the eye gaze forwards. And then again, let's take another shift over into the left foot, slightly down, shift over to the right, eye gaze to the left toe, and then spinning the tummy, twisting the chin over the right collarbone towards the right hand if you want a little balance there as well. So you can look down towards the right hip if it's easier for you to balance, or maybe the ground just beyond your right hip. You can look to the space underneath the right hand, or you can look to the right hand itself, a bit more challenging. Okay, neutral, looking forwards, and let's shift the weight onto the left ball of the foot, onto both balls of the feet. Let's just drill it again in flow, so send the hips over to the right heel, eye gaze to the left foot. And then growing up the spine as if you're pressing the back up a wall, twisting the tummy to the right. If you like, bringing the chin over to the right collarbone, lifting right ear. Okay, if you want balance, lift the left leg. They can be on the toe tip as well. Keeping balance, bringing toe tip down if you need to. Just bring chin back into the center of the chest, the sternum. And then start to bring chin towards left collarbone, left ear lifts. Chin towards right collarbone, right ear lifts. You'll notice when you move the head in balance, it makes balance 10 times harder. And let's just bring both heels down. We're going to cross here. Take the right toe tip forwards. Weight is in the left heel. Twisting the tummy over to the right, right palm up and back. It's creating a little lift here. You can have leg bent or straight. You can lift the leg higher or lower. And then again, bring your knee into center, fingers into shoulders, and we'll just release that from there. Okay, coming back onto the left side. Let's start with the left toe tip, turning the wrists in, zipping up the back, strong in the right heel. Twist the tummy over to the left. Keep your eye gaze on me for the moment. Left palm up and back. Right ear lifted, and chin is like you imagine your chin's a little bit heavier than usual. The chin's dipping down, but the right ear's lifting up. Okay. And then let's bring the left knee up. If you can bend the standing leg, do. And then shifting the weight back beyond that right heel, we'll step the left foot back. Take the right hand onto the right leg. Take the left hand onto the tummy. We'll start with the eye gaze on the right big toe. Okay, now just holding this shape for a second, let's play with one thing. Imagine just keeping the eye gaze on the right toe and start to twist the tummy to the left. Notice what happens when you try and twist the tummy. You get often feeling in the legs. So you actually feel the stretch more in the legs when you try and move the core. If you don't feel that at the moment, don't worry about it. It might just be that the core isn't moving too much today for probably good reasons. Okay, but the intention here is to try and twist the tummy up. So let's do chin to chest. And then you're looking at the left toe. Twisting, still trying to twist the tummy up. We'll raise the left hand up. You can keep the eye gaze at the left toe. You can look anywhere on the ground. Or you can look at the left hip. Chin into left collarbone. And left ear lifting. So you're creating length on the left side of the neck. It might look or feel like the head is going down towards the ground. There's this opening up the left side of your neck. Again, press strongly into the right foot like you're trying to stretch the front of your mat, and see if you can translate that right foot pushing into the left side body, lifting into the twist. Lovely. And this will get even lighter if you lengthen out those left fingers. So really reach the left fingers up. Imagine they're being pulled up to the sky. Okay, and then chin back into the center. Let's twist the tummy down, looking at the right toe again. And lift up your left heel. Let's come out of this one in a high lunge. So we'll raise the arms forwards and up. Expand the tummy, looking forwards. Expand the throat. Throat forwards, elbows forwards and up, chin up if you like, looking down towards me, past your nose or top lip. And then again, bend the back knee, throat back, wrists in, chin in. Let's go into a warrior 3 from here, guys. We'll reach the fingers back. So long fingers, long left toes. And if you like, you can lift it up into the balance as well. You can feel as though you're parallel to the ground, like a big capital T from the side. This gives you a kind of marker point to work towards and stabilize in this posture. If you look at it, this is one of those poses that never really looks how it feels. If you take a picture of yourself, you're like, where's my capital T? But the intention, nonetheless, is there for us to create this prana, this life force, this awareness of spine lengthening, even if it's under muscular tension. I'm going to invite you to sweep the left knee forward. Eye gaze down for balance, eye gaze towards the screen for challenge. This time let's touch the knee onto the hands, guide the shoulders down, and bring the fingers into the shoulders. Let's release from there. Okay, back on 2 solid feet. Here, just have a little feel into instinctively left and right. Notice which feels heavier, which feels tighter, which feels lighter. There is a different quality to left and right leg because we just did an asymmetrical pose. So again, you don't actually need to know, that's because my sartorius is now slightly worked and it doesn't matter about that, but actually just bringing your awareness into the feeling. This is a meditation. Even if I'm speaking these words and they're not quite landing, bring the awareness in. Okay, and let's play with that on the other side as well. Turning the wrists in, coming onto the right toe tip. Okay, and we'll start with the twist. Twisting the tummy, you're trying to intend that tummy button to twist over to the right, towards your right hip bone. Let's do a little bit of neck here as well. So chin in, chin heavy, left ear lifts. If your left shoulder's lifted here, maybe reach the left elbow forwards and down, like you were just going to touch a button on a console with your left elbow. Left ear lifts, chin slightly in, all fingers long. Lifting up the right knee if you wish. You can work it with toe down as well. If possible, start to bend into the left knee. You're really using the left heel for your grounding. We're going to shift the weight into that left heel and then follow the core back. We'll bring it into our triangle shape. Left hand to left leg, right hand at first on tummy for a little bit of feedback. And this is a good thing to do, even if you can do the pose with the arm lifted, just to see, actually, does my tummy move today? Because if you're feeling that it doesn't move today, you might come back to a practice again and be like, oh, wow, I can move my core. So it's just a measuring stick. We've got the left foot pushing forward, the right foot pushing backwards. And remember, this is like a seat. We want active hips here. So we're not fighting gravity to lift. We're actually just totally overpowering gravity with strong legs. The stronger the legs are, the easier it is to lift the spine up against gravity. And that's where your muscular work comes in. Okay, we're just working to feel a little bit of the twist of the tummy here. So there's plenty of range that you can feel, but where are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? Is the spine actually moving? Is it just the upper spine? So a lot of people move in the upper spine in the twist here, but can you try and twist the tummy as well? Can you actually get that feeling that the tummy is being twisted? Okay, let's bring the right hand up. Eye gaze towards the left toe still. And just have a feel into your neck here. If you get any pinching sensations, particularly as we're doing these rotations, that's a sign to just pause and to come back to a place where it feels normal, where it feels easy. You can come out of the pose at any time as well, guys. This is a long hold. Triangle's a big old pose, right? So, eye gaze towards the left foot. Right fingers reaching up towards the sky. This is going to keep you light, nice long fingers, okay? And then trying to twist the tummy up as you look towards your right foot. And again, as you push that left foot forwards, you're trying to twist the tummy and the chest up towards the sky. You can bring the chin along the right collarbone. And then again, it'd be your right ear is lifting away from the right shoulder, almost like the head is bobbing down towards the ground. The right side of the neck is lengthened, the fingers all lengthen. So again, re-lengthening those fingers, they're the first thing to go. Go on, Kath, long fingers, right hand, reach, reach, reach. Check the breath is there. Lovely. Strong legs, long spine. Chin traces along the collarbone, back to the sternum. And then eye gaze down towards the front foot again. You're releasing a Parshvattanasana, that's our pyramid pose. And again, you can add a little push here as well. The more active the legs are, the more you can intentionally lift the spine out of the hips. But remember, I'm using the word more a lot, so it sounds like you've got to do more in one area. So we're actually just exploring different mechanics while we're in the postures. Let's lift up the right heel and then press down into that back foot, high lunge. In the high lunge here, we're going to extend the front of the body. So again, try to expand the tummy and the front of the pelvis. Try to send the throat forwards, chin up, elbows forwards, fingers forwards and up. Palms in towards each other is quite nice here. You can turn the palms back behind you as well. And we've created length on the front body. Imagine you're wrapping this long front body now around a sphere. So you're trying not to shorten the front body, but lengthen the back as you bring the arms down. Well done, everyone. Turning the wrists in, that's really good. It's not easy. Okay, we got the wrist turned in here. We're going to use this as our front and back lengthened in Warrior 3. So as we come back into Warrior 3, you can start on your right toe tip. And again, we're looking to feel into the idea of being a capital T. Now, if that halfway there feels like left hamstring says no, that's cool. You can actually do this with a slightly bent standing leg, but you can also do it with a straight standing leg as well, as long as the left hamstring's feeling okay. Long right toes back behind you, long crown reaching ahead of you. So where's our foundation of our seat here? The base of the spine, lengthening the crown through the base of the spine, empowering the base of the spine with that firm heel connection in the left foot. You're still lengthening the spine as you bring the right foot forward. You can take a pause on the right toe tip. You could bring the knee in, fingers to shoulders. This can be enough. If you like, if it's there for you, you can create a little touch with the knees and, well, the knee and the hands. Shoulders down a little bit. Press into the heels. Okay, and then let's release it on down. Bend the knees, raise the arms up. Chair pose. We're getting a bit more into the movement. Now we're really warm. Forward fold, eye gaze to toes. If you like, eye gaze to knees. Press the heels. Look forwards. And bear weight in the hands, step or jump back, strong fingers, looking to that space just in front of the hands as you lower down. Keeping the neck nice and long, elbows tucked in. As you lower, use your knees if you want to. Let's come into Cobra. Take the elbows forwards, fighting Cobra fists. Pressing the elbows down, and if that results in pinching the back, walk the elbows an inch or two forwards. Spread all your toes, squeeze your fingers, press the elbows down, press the knees down. Try to lift the front ribs by expanding your tummy. Slowly, gently, try to expand the tummy. It gives you a little lift, like a hovercraft. Lengthen through the crown. Look down towards the ground. Let the head start to come down without dropping the chest. So gently, gently, gently looking towards your chest. And then expand the tummy again. Keep the back of the neck as long as it is now with length in the front. Throat forward, chin up. Lengthening through the crown. Release the elbows. Shalabhasana, locust pose. So intending was really great pose for strengthening your back here. If you want, you can lift up the legs. And lengthen through the crown, long fingers, long toes, soft eyes. Okay, let's bring the fingers next to the ribs. Draw the elbows in. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, grip all your fingers, and we'll use the hands and the knees to do a supported push-up here. Main thing, keep the back lifting more than anything else. So that's going to recruit loads and loads of strength in the fingers and arms to do that. It's tricky to do a push-up. Good form, guys. All right, let's bring it into down dog. In our downward facing dog, looking towards the toes. If you prefer, look into the knees. And traditionally, the drishti in this posture is navel. You're supposed to be able to see your tummy. The restriction here, if your boobs are in the way, if you have boobs, then you're not going to be able to see the tummy as easily. But I'd like you to imagine, nonetheless, that such you were trying to expand the tummy and to tuck the chest back a little bit. This will feel like a forward bend, which is that back lengthening that we're looking for in downward facing dog. This back lengthening is the main priority. So let's lift up the heels really high and then bend the knees, bend the elbows. See if you can look a little closer to the tummy. You're just trying to bring the eye gaze in. Be careful with the neck here. We don't want to strain. Okay, let's keep the knees bent, but straighten the spine. So push the hands forward, hips up and back. You can lift the heels here, bend the knees as much as you want. Try and make your spine really long rather than a forward bend. And then let's bring the knees down. Walk the hands 2 feet forwards and we'll come into a back bend. So the back bend is melting heart or puppy pose. Let the chest go down towards the ground and let the head go down towards the ground. For some of you, the head and chest will actually touch the ground. For some of you, you might want to rearrange. You might want to bring the elbows down and notice what's happening in the chest here and in the back of the neck particularly. Now, a back bend is okay, but we want to make sure the front and the back long. So you're really trying to reach the arms forwards. Okay, so this is a back bend. We want to try and avoid this in down dog. Let's bring these hands back into the kneeling tabletop position. And I'd like you to look towards the front of your mat, and we'll do a couple of bear rolls here. So cat-cow is forward and backward bend, and a bear roll is where we're doing cat-cow with rotation as well. So it's kind of like barreling to the side. Now as you do this, you've got the eyes trained forwards towards the front of your mat. Take one rotation in either direction. So you're getting the benefit of this eye exercise, but also moving that lymphatic fluid around the collarbones, and as well as stabilizing the neck in all these different positions. Let's even it up again, a couple of more rotations on each side so you feel even. Okay, and then back into downward facing dog, eye gaze towards toes or knees or in the direction of your tummy. And then bend the knees, breathe all the air out. As you inhale, bring the feet and eye gaze towards the hands and half lift up the chest, looking forwards. Looking down towards the toes, forward fold. And then bending the knees, tracing the eye gaze up, raising the arms forwards and up, throat forwards and up, chin forwards and up, chair pose Utkatasana, looking down past your nose. And then eye gaze to neutral, hands to heart center. So sun salutation, let's do it with the eye gaze. Bend the knees, raise the arms up, eye gaze up towards the thumbs, throat forwards. And then keeping that length in the front as you fold over an imaginary ball in your forward fold, lengthening the back too. Heels down, eye gaze forwards, half lift. And then eye gaze to the mat in between or just in front of your hands. Walk, step or jump the feet back into a plank or a kneeling plank. If you want those barrel rolls, they feel really nice. You can do those. You could do cat-cow if you want to. Eye gaze down as you lower in your push-up. And then eye gaze forwards and up in your cobra or upward facing dog. When you're in cobra or up dog, throat forward, chin up. So you're activating, okay? Let's bring it from the core, grip fingers strong. The transition back into downward facing dog. Eye gaze to toes. So we'll bring the left heel in. So your left toes turned out. And then eye gaze between hands, right foot finds its way there. And then eye gaze forwards and up towards the thumbs, warrior one. Let's bring the hands back down. Take your choice. Look in those bear barrel rolls, cat-cow, chaturanga, push-up with or without knees, cobra or fighting cobra, totally always welcome, really nice modifications to choose. Throat forwards and chin up in your cobra or up dog. And then downward dog. Eye gaze towards toes, take a natural, easy, relaxed breath. When you're ready, bring the right heel in this time, so the right knee's turned out. And then eye gaze forwards, left foot finds the space in between the hands. Maybe just behind, you can take an extra step if you need to. And then throat forwards, chin up, eye gaze up to thumbs. See if you can lengthen the back of the neck there too. Elbows forwards and up, warrior one. And let's bring it back down. Another vinyasa. Again, take your choice. You can do another, if you don't want to face another push-up, you can do some other movements. If you just can't get enough, then you can take a handstand. So a handstand, we can either do one of three options: low intensity, child's pose, let the knees come down, rest the bum onto the heels. Intensity level, kind of medium high, stay in down dog. And if you feel to, start to explore down dog a tiny little bit, be gentle, let the eye gaze be fixed and start to explore. Walk in the dog a little, really nice to release the hips. And then intensity option number 3, little jumps, okay? So here, we're going to take the eye gaze between the hands as you inhale and jump, okay? So breathe out, bend knees, prepare. Eye gaze forwards, inhale, jump. Now the trick here is to try and lock the arms in with the spine. Remember, you've still got 3 options, guys, so you might just be having a chill in child's pose. You might be in downward facing dog. I want you, if you're doing the jumps, to work on trying to keep the elbows in. So those elbows want to bend out wide. We want to try and keep them in. Inhale and exhale. So a kind of high, medium intensity is rocking forwards into a plank and then flowing back into downward facing dog. This is going to give you a lot of the physical, physiological, energetic benefits of a handstand jump. And it's also going to help you just to kind of orient yourself and to get the flow a little bit. Right, there we go. Cool, guys. All right, so if you didn't already, it's a good point for rest. Child's pose or tabletop position. And then let's bring it back into down dog. We're going to finish off this sun salutation. Bend knees, exhale, prepare. Inhale, tiptoe, or step or jump forwards. And then half lift up the chest when you arrive. Let's bend the knees, raise the arms up, eye gaze up to thumbs, chair pose. And then come to stand, hands at heart center. So another one in your own time, guys. Freestyle it a little bit. Go extra slow flow if you want. Add little poses. Crow pose is a good one to sneak in here as well. Any jumps into handstand, any playing around stuff you want to do. Make it your own, neck nice and long. Know where your eyes are looking. So we can do those warriors as well. Might invite you to take right foot forwards, warrior one, when it feels right for you in your flow. No rush, guys. This is your practice. You can do as much or as little as you like. You can try and follow along. It might be tricky. Basically moving through a sun salutation B here. I'm doing a warrior on each leg. And I'm going to come back to chair at the front of the mat. You can do that too. Or you can jam it. Your body's really warm. You're super powered up from your yoga practice. If there's any other kind of physical stuff that you're doing at the moment, gymnastics, feel free. You can take a cartwheel if you feel like it. You can chill. You can be super slow-mo flow. You can come sit and meditate, be still if you want. There's space and time for a few of these jumps. If you're wanting to work on handstands particularly, downward facing dog against the wall is a really good one to get you used to being upside down. And we're trying to have the
shoulders over the hands. You can work it as a 3-legged dog. Take your time to move away. Otherwise, you might be in down dog, child's pose. You might be taking a breather. You might be meditating. It's freestyle. It's not great music to meditate to traditionally, but you can still do it. All right, guys, let's bring it back into down dog if you're close to there. And then we'll finish off this sun salutation. A little bend in the knees, breathe out. And then a tiptoe or hop forwards. We come to the front of the mat, high gaze forwards, neck nice and long. And then chair pose. As long as your knees are okay to do this, get a little transition down onto the ground. So we're going to try to lower. If your heels lift in your squat, it's going to be challenging. Use your hands for balance at any point. And we can start to come onto the back, lift the legs up. We get the benefit of that inversion. So you're in a kind of capital L shape now, moving through a lot of the letters today. And I'm going to invite you to bend your knees. Take the hands behind the knees, give them a squeeze with the knees, squeezing your hands with your knees. And then we'll take a little rock and roll. If it's better for your back to come on your side into boat pose, then do. If you can come and catch the balance here in boat, let's do it. And notice the knees kind of want to widen naturally here. That's okay. See if you can just have this awareness that you're drawing the knees together. If comfortable, start to lengthen the legs, lift the chest. Bring the fingertips into the temples with awareness, lengthening the spine. Knees, elbows, opposite direction. We'll twist, sit in the Navasana. Opposite side as well. Okay, and then we'll take a reverse plank pose. So bringing the feet in towards the ankles. Shoulders at first are going to roll forwards. Before we lift, let's lift up the chest. Grip the fingers, chin into chest. And then press into the heels. Let's lift. Expand the tummy, chest, and throat. If it feels okay for you, throat forwards, chin up. Okay, and then bringing the chin in first. Fingers grip and lower down. Take a supported boat pose here. There's options again, intensity levels. Remember, we're all here experiencing something different. You might like to try to round the spine and slowly roll down. If this feels dodgy at any point, grab the legs, come back out, come on your side and come back down if you need to. You're trying to control lower spine, middle spine. Lower spine is where the most detail is because you're in this lordosis. It's already a back bend, so it's hard to roll down the lower spine. It'll usually come down as one. When you get the upper spine down here, you start to get this kind of thing going on. Okay, and then let's release the head down. So final tiny little bit of work on the neck. And you can keep your knees bent here and chin into chest. Lift the head up tiny little bit. So it's barely lifted. The hair's still touching down. Maybe even the hair is slightly lifted. You can lower it back down. We're keeping the chin in. So again, we're just getting really strong into this front chain in this boat pose sequence and just working these deep neck flexors. Okay, release the head down. Just take a moment to enjoy that feeling of neck. That's lovely. Okay, and then let's bring the elbows in to the side body. Tuck the shoulders one after the other as far under your body as you can. So your chest protrudes and lifts up towards the sky. Make sure the head and neck are in a good position. Let's see if we can lift up the body and clasp the hands underneath your back. So in this bound bridge pose, while you're there, be cautious with the neck, but see if you can together slide the shoulders a little bit closer underneath you. You might do a little side to side as well. Just working cautiously, chest broad and open. Okay, now notice where your shoulders are. Can you bring the hands onto the sides of the hips here? And this will do for the purposes of this. You can maybe bring the hands onto the glutes. I find this really tricky to get the hands past the glutes and onto the low back. You find if you get there, sometimes the elbows go wide for it. Okay, so let's lower down. Now that shoulder positioning is something useful for shoulder stand, which you've effectively done because we did the leg lift and the shoulder tuck. So we won't actually do the full pose today, but if you practice the sequence later, you can do a shoulder stand here if you've got time. Otherwise, let's just let the feet hang up towards the sky once again. And then I'm going to invite you to bring the elbows wide, bend the knees, and then just draw circles with the knees, little circles, and opposite direction. And if you'd like, take the soles of the feet together, let the knees go out, rest the hands onto the tummy, chin slightly into the chest. And then let's lengthen the legs. You might prefer to keep a bend in the knees, soles of the feet down, or you might prefer to lengthen the legs and rest flat on your back. Hands wherever they feel best for you. And I'd like to invite you to just notice how your eyes feel. And you might move them to feel them, or you might just have a recollection of the awareness is still there in the eyes from all of those muscular actions. So part of muscular training that is really benefit for your consciousness is that it helps you to expand the awareness into different areas. It helps to facilitate the movement of blood, lymphatic, and other electronic, magnetic energies. Just to help your energy flow, and this can help you express and experience what it really is that you are doing, that you are looking for, or that you are creating. And just feeling into for a moment, if you would, that innate creative quality within you, the creative quality which is naturally there, it's your adaptive quality, underutilized in a world of convenience. Perhaps now we're invited back to our creative mind, trusting that there is always nimbleness in your mind around each situation, and that you've chosen to come here to a practice, to a yoga practice, to look after your body and to facilitate that speed and ease of mind. So let yourself be free to see things in a different way. Just bringing a little awareness to your throat region. I'm going to invite you to take a big slow inhale and sigh and exhale, or whisper one, or hum and exhale. And relax your body totally, nothing to do now. Just be here in your body. So let's start to move a little bit. You can blink the eyes open. You might like to roll the eyes a little bit. It's working from the subtle to the gross. It's hard to get out of a reclined position at the end of a class, oftentimes for many people, so we can start with these small eye movements, finger movements, toe movements, much more accessible, and then we're just inviting the body to get back into the idea of moving. Of course, though, if you feel like you want to stay and rest, constructive rest on your back a little bit longer, you very well can. And feel free, if you'd like, to Come up into a seated position. We'll close out the class. And just take a moment again to check into your seated position. We did a bunch of this before. Just notice how your lower back feels, how your hips feel. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming along to the class today. Deeply grateful for your presence and that we could make it happen today. I hope the practice served you quite well. I tried to take a few influences in mind today. We went 6 minutes over, 7 minutes over, but we changed things around anyway. I hope it's okay for you. If you need to rush off, don't don't feel you need to stick around. But I wish you a very, very, very festive season, Christmas, Eid, whatever you're doing with your family. I hope it goes really nice, and I hope you get to see some of them, however you choose to play that, and or at least just have wholesome connections with people. And yeah, thanks so much for being here, guys, and thanks for all of your hard work this year. Wow, what a crazy year. What an amazing year to be doing yoga. Well done. I hope it's helped. Thanks all. And
Catch you later, guys. Take care. Ciao for now.